The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is the main event.
This is your main event, Mark's Podcast. I'm your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat dad, and the Concrete Crypt keeper. I am Troy. And with me, as always, is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is the WWE Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia, now a shirt on our Bonfire store, and the Johnny Stamboli to my Nunzio. It's Greg. What's up, Greg?
Hey, you knew Johnny Stamboli was, right? That was a relic.
Well, yeah, he was a relic, which, of course, is killer spelled backwards.
In case you didn't know. For your information.
I did not know, like, they did a good job, because, like, him walking out, I never would have thought, it's Johnny Stamboli, whatever. I mean, I can see it now that I know it, but I didn't know that for, like, the first couple of weeks, and then I saw something about it online, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
You forget this guy looked like $1 million. You wonder how Vince McMahon didn't have an orgasm over him.
And he's like, Mother of God, and he wasn't, like, that bad in the ring, either. And he had a Starcade main event in tan. Like, come on, man.
Should bring him back and put him with Tony D.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if he's still wrestling. I would assume yes, maybe, perhaps. Hey, anybody out there, if you know, let us know if you can book. Well, I guess he goes by Red Rum, last I knew, which of course is murder spelled backwards. But
we're looking for the Johnny Stamboli fan.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's not his mother.
Well, that was it. Yeah, right. Anybody without the last name Stamboli. But that was another thing, like why I didn't put two and two together, because I'm like, who the hell would have instantly thought of that guy? Like, he was so obscure, nobody would have been
and
like,
everything he ever did was like a stereotypical mafia thing. Like all of a sudden he's a murderer or whatever the hell he was, a killer. Excuse me.
Yeah, some kind of like monster thing. Yeah, like I didn't piece it together, and I'm like, wow, that's a hell of a 180. So he's like, well, I've tried this mafia gimmick for the past I don't know how many years.
Vince McMahon would do.
Yeah, right. God dang it,
damn
now
it,
we need to repackage you. No more Husky Harris. Carter. Yeah, you're no longer going to be Husky Harris. Now you're going to be that Lance Cady from Cape Fear. God dang it, pal. It's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah, we already did that. No one remembers that.
Yeah, right. God dang it, pal. Who the hell was that? Dan Spivey? Nobody gives a damn about Dan Spivey. God dang it, pal.
Except for the Undertaker.
Yeah, right. And I say that as a joke. From what I heard, Dan Spivey's a really cool dude. Like, everybody says he's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. He's bald as a cue ball now, which is weird.
You ever see him in person, dude? He's like smiling ear to ear, like nonstop. Not that that's a bad thing, but you can just tell he's genuinely happy to be wherever he's at.
Yeah, he's
just
clearly not one of.
Because if you watch his stuff back, he looks like the most miserable asshole on the planet.
According to Jim Cornette, because I think he talked about that. I think him and others were talking about, said, yeah, he was pretty high strung back in the day. So,
I just mean on TV, he looked like he's pissed off at the world.
Yeah, I guess he did take himself very seriously. Or something. Right. I guess in WCW he did take himself really seriously and all that, and he thought he was bigger than he was.
You probably should take yourself seriously, otherwise you're gonna be a joke, right?
Yeah, right. But that was I think Cornette was the one that relayed that message. Yeah, it was, because I remember the verbiage had to have been him, because he said there was a time when he wouldn't sell for anybody, and they put the dynamic dudes were in a feud against the Skyscrapers.
Well, would you?
And, yeah, right. Well, Johnny Yanks, I guess.
Hey, Dan. Hey, your pecs for you. Make you look good in the ring.
That's a pretty sweet mullet you got there. And if there's one thing I know about, it's bleach blonde mullets. Cowabunga, dude. But yeah, Cornette said there was a thing where the dynamic dudes, I guess specifically Johnny, went in to complain to, I think, Ole about it. And he's like, yeah, he's not freaking selling for me. Or excuse me, he's not selling for me, boss. I don't know what to do. I even tried oiling his pecs. But
crap.
But he called Dan in and he's talking to him. And I think it was Ole. And he said he looked at him. He's like, look, he's like, I'm looking at Johnny. I'm looking at you. I see that maybe 2 inches difference of height, both about the same weight class-ish. He's like, yeah, freaking sell for the guy. And he said Dan Spivey gave him a look like you just fornicated his mother right in front of him.
Yeah, see, that's the bye-bye guy. You take a look at him, he looks just like he's pissed off at the world.
Yep. Yeah.
But then you see him at conventions, he's nice as hell.
Yep. Yeah, I guess they said he became like super mellowed out through the year. They said by the time he was Waylon Mercy, he just kind of mellowed out. He kind of accepted his spot. And he's like, it is what it is. But, good for him.
I mean, he went in there and Diesel was the hottest thing in wrestling. Undertaker's still there. No one's better than Bret Hart. So what were you really going to flex?
Well, plus, it wasn't like he could come in there and do like, he couldn't be another Sid because, one, he never had the body like that. The other thing was he could barely move. His knees were shot.
He couldn't swing a baseball bat. So
yeah, there's that too. Or scissors.
I didn't say it, although I did think it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he could barely move. So I don't know. But yeah, obviously today we're covering Great American Bash 2004, and obviously we're putting it off as long as possible because it is what it is.
This is one of the worst events in the history of pro wrestling. You thought last week was something you ain't seen. I was going to say it, but
yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. Well, look, King of the Ring 1994 said, "Hold my beer," or well, actually, it was the other way around. This event told King of the Ring to hold his beer, because good God, and it was 10 years apart. Think about that. Yikes, man. I don't really know what else to say.
This is a premier company, by the way. This isn't ECW or something.
I like how WWE is like, hey, we got something special planned for all you guys. Like, oh yeah, what's that? They're like, we're bringing back the Great American Bash. Okay, awesome. First time in 4 years. Cool. They're like, and we're going to do it in the Norfolk Sculpt, which is a big old-time stomping ground for WCW. I think it housed a few Great American Bash shows. Oh, okay, yeah, great. Yeah, right. And then they gave them this. Like, hey, remember we promised you good things? Well, swerve, pal. This, like Vince McMahon.
This week on the podcast, Major Wrestling Figure podcast, Brian Myers had a good point about the Nitro Arena not getting back.
Yeah.
He said, history is written in the eye of the winner, and WWE made WCW look so bad that nobody wanted that arena. Hard to argue that with this.
Yeah, right. Well, and then NXT brings Great American Bash back, and the show is generally good.
Well,
so there you go. I don't know. I guess it depends on who's running it. Then again, as we've pointed out, Triple H has a hard-on for the NWA, so which is why he's bringing back belts that look like the big gold. So that right there shows you where his mind is. He was managed by Ric Flair, so he brought back War Games. I mean, he clearly had a hard-on for the NWA, which I'm not faulting him for it. At times, it was great, but Vince clearly didn't get it, didn't care about it. He was like, let's just slap red, white, and blue all over the place and tons of titties.
And kill a man at the end.
Yeah, right. What more could you want? We got the service members in the crowd. We got plenty of boobs. We got American flags, and we got death. God dang it, pal. Seems like a recipe for great.
Half that's Vince Russo.
Right. Oh, man. I just...
boobs are going to kill forever. Well, you've been gone forever.
Yeah, go on forever, bro. And, well, I would say it's all Vince Russo, because it's like, bro, I can only relate with you, bro, if you're American. If you're not American, bro, I can't relate with you. Even had the...
Who cares about Japanese people, bro?
Bro, we're even going to have the racist white guy beat the Hispanic guy at the end, bro. Spoilers. And lots of blood. There's got to be blood, bro. Oh, man. But yeah, this show was something... We'll get into all of it, unfortunately. We have a decent amount of news to get to, and some of it's straight out of TNA because... Yeah, that too. Some of it's straight out of TNA because, there's some stuff going on. Speaking of Vince Russo, there's some stuff going on around there at this time that we'll get into. But real quick, I do want to...
that doesn't sound reassuring at all.
Yeah, well,
there's some stuff going on that we're going to get into.
It's honestly not... Sure. Right. Well, it's not anything bad, actually. It's all good news for TNA. Some of it's rumor and innuendo, though, that we'll squash. But before we get into all that, though, and get into our first break, I do want to tell you all about the sponsor of the podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Mahler Bros Golf. We all want to look good on the golf course, but it often comes at the expense of feeling good. Mahler Bros Golf has polos that look good and feel good. With their lightweight and stretchy material that hugs your body, you will feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer day at the golf course, there's no polo that you would rather wear than Mahler Bros Golf signature polos. Mahler Bros Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design and others for those who want a subtle and sleek-looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Use code BELLYUP at MahlerBros.com for 15% off. Spring and summer are just around the corner, so you know when you're out golfing and the sun's beating down and you just want to take your shirt off because of the heat? Well, these polos almost feel like you aren't wearing one at all. That's great for beating the heat, because I don't know about you, but even here in the Midwest, our summers get blazing hot. So you don't want to give up your golfing time because it's just a little too warm outside. Don't wait to try out your new favorite golf apparel. Upgrade your golf attire with Mahler Bros. Get 15% off at MahlerBros.com with code BELLYUP. That's 15% off at MAHLER Bros.com with code BELLYUP. Turn heads on the golf course or wherever you wear Mahler Bros polos. Mahler Bros Golf. Look good, feel good, play good. And now we're going to dive into our first break. On the other end of this, we're going to dive into all the news that is fit to print right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get ready to rumble in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main event marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main event marks.
By God! Somebody's interrupting the Main Event Marks! Sit down, JR. It's just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, your host of Here in Puckburg on the Hockey Podcast Network. I know, a hockey show on the Main Event Marks. Who would have thought? This is an invasion angle. Somewhere between the Nexus and when WCW tried to invade WWE, somewhere in there. But I'm over here just telling you that one half of your tag team champions over here, Greg, he told his story of his love for the game of hockey over on my show. And if you'd like to hear that story, all you have to do is search Here in Puckburg wherever you get your podcast or on YouTube. In the meantime, Shagamania's got to go run wild on some other hockey show. So, just remember, quote the Raven, nevermore. Take your vitamins, say your prayers, and oh yeah!
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back. Do you like your coffee like you like your podcasts? Gimmick and politics free? Well, so do we here at the Main Event Marks, and so do the guys and gals at Coffee Brand Coffee, where they ditch the gimmicks. You see, when you buy your coffee from other roasters, chances are that they've been sitting on the shelf for heaven knows how long. Don't rob yourself of freshness. At Coffee Brand Coffee, they roast to order, ensuring that you get the freshest coffee possible. And as Greg will tell you, that's what counts. Coffee Brand Coffee offers bagged coffee as well as K-Cups, and for the non-coffee people, they offer a variety of teas and cocos. Just click on the link down in the podcast description or go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and use our promo code MAINEVENT, all one word, at checkout to get 5% off your order. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com and use the promo code MAINEVENT to save 5% at checkout. News and notes time. You cracking anything today?
No, bottle of water today.
Yeah, I already cracked my monster earlier, so that's You're not going to be hearing no cracks on my end. We're going to be hearing a zipper on your end, though. So apparently you were doing something.
I'm playing. I'm setting up my Switch.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We heard a zipper, and you said you're taking out your Switch. Got it.
Oh, Switch.
Oh, good God. Anyway, let's get into all the news and notes.
That is correct.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
And we're actually not going off of Dave today, because anything after 2002, I think, I don't really have observer notes on. But I do have from around the wrestling world, which, you know, I'm going to safely assume a lot of these guys are just copying off of Dave. We give him crap, but, you know, we know the people online worship him, and the other quote-unquote reporters will take whatever he says. Yeah.
I don't think God knows why. Nobody knows.
No. Yeah, it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, Greg. So we just got to deal with it. But anyway, we're going to be starting off with TNA here. In a recent interview with his own website, Vince Russo was asked if he believes TNA can compete with WWE the way that WCW once did. You ready?
Bro, not with me running it, bro.
Yeah, right. Bro, not with Dixie Carter owning the thing. But he answered by saying, quote, "Yeah, I really believe that, and I really believe that now more than ever, especially with the Fox deal, bro." He didn't really say bro, but I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he probably did. I'll be honest with you. I didn't believe it. I was a doubter. Just doing the pay-per-view once a week and have to ask yourself right off the bat, how many people have black boxes? Giggity. How many people are seeing it for free? These are the things that you don't know in the pay-per-view industry. To make our mark with just pay-per-view, that was really, really, really going to be difficult to do. Now we have a national stage. I think we definitely have the opportunity to give people that alternative, end quote. Yeah, more like a landing spot for people who got fired from WWE. But, you know, whatever.
I'm kind of stuck on pay-per-view a week.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did. I mean, you and I were talking about their previous model was one pay-per-view per week, and it was like so weird. And nobody believed in it. Nobody thought it'd be successful, but I'll give them credit for this. They were able to stay afloat by doing that for a year, I think, something like that.
They did it from the beginning, so until 2004.
Yeah, so 2 years. That's nuts. Like, everybody laughed at that model, and I will say it's not like a sustainable model where it's going to keep you, going and keep you thriving for a long time. But they did do it, so kudos, I guess. But I don't know.
I don't think I ever watched a single one of those. That's weird, because usually I like to watch them.
Now a shirt on our Bonfire store. Go check that out. But no, I didn't watch any of them either. And in the future, we're definitely going to review at least one Asylum show. We just have to. But
The Date with Fate.
Right. So FX officials were said to be very impressed with NWA-TNA's debut of Impact and have expressed interest in bringing the show to their primetime slots on the network.
FX wanting the wrestling show. Tell me another one.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that before. It's like they kept themselves alive in the wrestling talk for years, and it was always like that. What about Sid kind of thing? It was like, what about FX?
Well, what about FX?
They always popped up. Rumor had it that they wanted Nitro for a while, and that Nitro might have moved there, and then it came down to then they were talking multiple times about that they wanted TNA. Wasn't there a rumor one time about maybe SmackDown going there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were always in the wrestling peripheral.
And now SmackDown is on Fox.
Yeah, right. So the parent company. But weird. Is FX still a thing, or did they change it?
Pretty sure it's still a thing, yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched cable in years, so I don't remember if that channel was still around. And I know they've got like at least 2 or 3 different FX channels, because one is like just FX movies or some crap like that. FXM.
That I don't know.
Jeff Hardy made a surprise appearance on Impact, and many are wondering what his current relationship is with WWE and if he's truly signed with TNA. Well, if he's on their show...
How is he going to be on the show?
I guess it could be a one-off, just a pop rating. Hey, look, Jeff Hardy's here, and he's gone. So, I don't know. But, yeah, he's there. He's going to be there for a while. Oh, man, that's effed up. But... He's there. He's going to be there for a little while.
TNA is where that whole thing happened, mind you.
Yeah. WWE would have never allowed something like that to happen. Ever. And I know they were like, oh, well, we promised Jeff Hardy and so whatever. And I don't know. According to Eric Bischoff, they were like sitting at the go position and they were like arguing about and talking like, what the hell do we do? And Jeff kind of just got up and stumbled to the ring after that. And like nobody noticed until he was already heading out there. I'm like, how do you not notice that dude that you're talking about right behind you get up and walk to the ring? And not even like at a fast pace. He was stumbling. But I think that was was that his second run in TNA? Because I know he was in and out a few times.
Yeah, that was the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Might have been third. Maybe. I don't know. Either way.
I think it was the second, yeah.
Okay. This one I don't think happens, if I remember correctly, but former NBA star Dennis Rodman will be making a return to wrestling. NWA-TNA has announced that Rodman will be at next week's pay-per-view in Nashville, Tennessee, and will attend the Impact taping.
I don't know if that happens.
I mean, if he did, I don't think they showed him on camera. I mean, because you figure something like that, TNA had a tendency to just hammer things home. Hey, look who was at a show once. I mean,
yeah, they got like a no-name linebacker from the Tennessee Titans, and they thought that was a big deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, somebody that like it wasn't like, oh, we got Tom Brady to show up at the show. No, you got like this dude. Like, sure, he was probably decent, but nobody's going to remember him. He didn't win the Super Bowl.
The only person in history that remembers him is Jim Ross. Oh yeah, he played for whatever, and Oklahoma kicked their ass that year.
Yeah. Well, he was a hell of a lineman, I'll tell you what. Oh, God. Anyway. Ken Shamrock is expected to make his return to NWA-TNA next week. Shamrock was the first ever NWA champion within TNA. After losing the title to Ron Killings, he left the promotion. Well, that's... I don't have it in my...
I don't know if that happens or not.
Nah, that sets me up for the first one of these of the podcast. So, yeah, no, I believe he did not come back. I don't think he came back until... Oh, crap.
I don't think he ever comes back.
Well, yeah, he did under Impact Wrestling. Because remember, he had that feud with Sami Callihan. And
I remember hearing about it. I didn't see it because they didn't watch it.
He looked like an old-ass man then. I realized he was old, but...
Wrestling the guy who lives under the bridge in Cincinnati.
Right. Well, for a man living under the bridge, he kept himself well fed. God bless him.
This is just what Cornette tells me. Him and Moxley live under the bridge. I don't know.
Yeah, right. And he makes you pay the toll before you can cross. I spoke with a guy one time who personally knew Sami Callihan, and I asked him before. I was like, "Well, he got in pretty good shape there for a while because, like, when he debuted in wrestling, they called him like Cannonball Callahan, and he was probably as big as he is now. He was a big dude, and I was like, he thinned out pretty well there for a while. Like, so he'd get into when
he went to NXT.
This was way before that actually, but I was like, did he get into like a really good workout regimen or something? And he was like, he's like, no, he changed. Instead of driving to McDonald's to get his Big Mac, he would run up there. So he's like, that's
crap.
He said, that's the difference. I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it. But I don't know, he was a skinny dude there for years and years. And then after he went back to TNA, after the crap, what was that? Where him and the Chris brothers, OV something.
OVE. Ohio versus everyone.
Oh, yeah, OVE. That's it. After that stuff, then he started ballooning out again.
Sami Callihan will always be the guy who lost to a woman for the world title.
Yep, a woman who...
And I'm not trying to be sexist about that, sorry, but in wrestling, that shouldn't happen.
No, especially, like,
a
woman that's, like, half his size. while on SportsCenter on ESPN, Brock Lesnar stated that he wished that he had never gone to WWE. At the time, it was simply a quick way of fame and fortune after college, but now he wishes that he had gone straight to the NFL. Lesnar also denied using steroids yet again.
But he gone straight to the NFL, yeah, because he did so well in the NFL when he was there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's blaming WWE for that. It was like, well, if I would have went straight there, I would have had a better shot. Like, would you though? Because I don't think you ever played football. You went, like, all you did was wrestle. So
yeah, it's like the same thing with guys his size thinking they can fight.
Yeah, it's a stupid thought process here. Like, oh yeah, if I would have just skipped WWE, the only thing that anybody knows me for, maybe I could have made it big in the NFL. Highly freaking doubtful. You couldn't even make it onto the Vikings, all right? And they weren't exactly a Super Bowl contender at that time. Getting into the WWE stuff here, though. WWE creative team member Dominic Pagliaro. Yeah. Resigned from the company. 2 of Kevin Dunn's production guys were also said to have left WWE as well. A high-level employee.
Can't see it, but I'm doing the T thing.
Well, that's why every time some a button doesn't get pushed or gets pushed accidentally, it's always because his teeth got in the way.
Wow.
But a high-level employee who handled travel for WWE has also left. Many backstage are hoping that things work out right with TNA so that they'll have a second option.
That what's going on right now with AEW too?
Yeah. I mean, it does give, whether people like it or hate it, doesn't really matter. It is a second option to which somebody can make a decent living in the wrestling business. So there's that. And they don't have to go to Impact, where I'm sure the paychecks are a small fraction of what they were getting. And obviously, I don't know what AEW would pay their production as opposed to WWE, but they apparently get pretty big production checks. So from Turner, that is. I don't know, but either way, Impact did hire a few like backstage people, but it was ones like Bruce Pritchard I could see. But then they hired ones like that big. I can't remember his name from he was in like season 1 of Tough Enough, I think. You know who I'm talking about?
I know. I don't know his name, but yeah, but I know what it looks like.
Yeah, and apparently there was according to Bruce Pritchard, there was a thing for a while, or no, it was I think it was Eric Bischoff was saying there for a while. They wanted to make that big, like head of production and creative and whatever. And Bischoff was like, "Look, I don't want the job. Who the hell is this guy? Like, why are you going to put him in charge of everything?"
He's the guy that was on MTV.
Yeah. Apparently, from what Bischoff says, so, I guess I should hit.
Allegedly!
He said.
He's good for about 50%, so.
Yeah, well, what he was saying was that Big talked to Bischoff about, wanting to have a meeting or whatever, and the meeting consisted of basically Dixie wanted Eric to be in creative and be a bigger part of the company, and Big was going to be in charge of everything, and thus being Eric's boss and direct report. And Eric was like, "Look, I like Big, but hell no, like not gonna happen." Because he said, "I don't want to be a part of creative, and I definitely don't want him to be my boss."
You could put that in front of anything, if you think about it.
But
I like him, but. And that's usually you're out.
Oh yeah.
Like there's an old Conan O'Brien sketch where like one of his interns said, in the nicest way possible. And Conan said, "Yeah, you can throw that in front of anything and make it look good. Like I'd like to murder you in the nicest way possible." Like I like this guy, but screw him.
Somebody people pointed out, they're like, "Look, just putting 'with all due respect' in front of it doesn't make it any better." You're still being a complete a-hole. So by saying with all due respect,
a few years ago, you'd said something that just floored me. You said, "Look, no offense, with all due respect, fuck you."
Yeah, right.
I don't think that works.
Yeah, I can't. I've heard stuff like that too. It's like, look, it's like just because you say no offense doesn't mean it's not offensive.
Because like 9 out of 10 times when you start something with no offense, it's going to be offensive.
Yeah, it's gonna
Let's
be
be real.
effed up. Yeah. Staying with it there, WWE is searching for someone to be in charge of storyline continuity and the overall direction of the storylines. The leading
Well, there's like
candidate,
100 guys on Twitter right now that can do it. You know, they're pros. They tell me every Monday and Friday.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
Bob is doing this. You know, be making all this money. Billion people be watching. Trillions of people be watching.
Dude, I swear to God, if one more person throws out the line, finish the story, I am going to barf. Like, shut the F up, man. What do you know? Like, looking down the, like, well, I looked into the future and it's not as good as they claim it's going to be. Like, shut up.
And yet here you sit broke and you looked into the future and couldn't fix that, huh?
Yeah, right. Like,
I looked in the future and my basement is perfectly fine for me for the rest of my life.
well, it's like those people that, I mean, this is a tad different, but
I looked in the future and they started having bigger bags of Cheetos at Costco, which I'm extremely happy about.
exactly. As an avid buyer of Cheetos, I am satisfied. But either way, like, because I
I
want to
shouldn't joke because I actually love Cheetos, but I do not eat them a lot because they're not that good for you.
right. But I want to be a published author someday, so I've been watching these things by people who have actually worked in the industry as like literary agents and whatever, and actually got books published and stuff, and know what they're talking about. And they give like hints and whatever, like do's and don'ts. And they're like, don't, you know, if you get turned down, don't go crying on the internet claiming that nobody understands your genius and all this other stuff. They're like, nobody's going to sign you after that.
So don't be Kanye West. Got it.
Yeah, right.
And my book is so good, they should replace the Bible with it.
Yeah, God. But yeah, it's like, don't, you know, you don't know better than everybody else. It's like, yeah, sure. When the storyline wraps up and you're looking
Hey, you call
back,
my mom a liar?
the hell?
Tell me I don't know better than everybody else. You call my mother a liar?
My mom thinks I'm cool. But like, once the storyline is finished, like, that's kind of what this whole podcast does. We're looking back in retrospect and going, well, now that that's done and over with, it sucked. But like,
Hey, everybody's a great Monday morning quarterback.
yeah, well, there are also some things that you and I point out that it's like, look good at first, but looking back, and then there are other things that it's like, why? Like, from go, why?
Yeah, the end of this show right here. We're about to review.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, like when storylines are still going on, like, just give it time. Like, people are so damn impatient. It's not
Just
just
the idiots that I mentioned that will open a book and read the last page and then we'll start. I want to know how it ends now.
Yeah. Well, that's it's the same thing I see with television shows that aren't pro wrestling. People still do that. Well, this is, like, it's getting so stupid, and it's like, wait till the end of the season, man. Like, good God, you didn't like 1 or 2 episodes. Like, get over it. Whatever. I think
Telling
I got
a
that out of my
fanboy to
system.
get over it is not ever going to work out for you.
Yep. Hey, I was
Remember a
surprised.
couple weeks ago, and you said if there's one thing in the world you can tell a woman is to calm down.
Oh yeah,
So guys, this is one thing you can tell a fanboy. It's, you know, hey, wait,
yeah, right. Well, that's
it can never go
with.
wrong.
I showed you. I replied to somebody on Twitter that posted that picture of Cody sitting in the ring at WrestleMania after he lost, and they're like, "It's been X amount of." Yeah, and they're like, it's been X amount of days since we witnessed this travesty. And I was like, get the over it. Like, are you still dwelling about WrestleMania 2 months later? Like, good God, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think their profit margin got hurt a lot. Right after that match, they sold for what, $9 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it hurt them much. But you know better. By all means.
Yep. Well, and remember, the bloodline is getting old. Nobody cares about it anymore. Move on.
No, just in Puerto Rico, they were literally chanting, "We want Roman," but they don't want him though, right?
No, he's old and stale. Remember that. Just like nobody liked Luger in the 90s or the 80s or ever. Nobody ever liked Luger. Shut up. Don't try to argue. Nobody liked him.
Same with Sid. At Madison Square Garden, the hardest place to get over in all of wrestling, turned on the top face for Sid in 1996. Go back and watch if you don't believe me.
People in Shawn Michaels' hometown fist bumped him and cheered him.
No one liked him, though. What the hell you're talking about? You're making stuff up.
I will say, once that damn bell rang, it was a little bit of a different story, but
He wasn't that bad. I maintain that.
no,
Not saying he was great, but
no, he wasn't Necro Butcher, but he wasn't
oh,
great.
that's a low bar.
That's true. The leading candidate at the moment is a former soap opera writer who has no real knowledge of wrestling. Go figure. That tracks. It is being said that WWE has offered him a $200,000 per year deal. Many backstage feel that hiring someone to be in charge of storyline continuity makes no sense, since Vince McMahon ends up changing his mind constantly on what to do and how to do it.
Again, just still what you just said. That tracks.
Yeah, right. God dang it, pal. We need to hire somebody to be in charge. Like, aren't you in charge? Well, God dang it, pal. We need somebody that I can make think
Smack
they're in
around.
charge. Yeah. I'll tell them they're in charge, and then I'll come behind them and them.
What the hell? He is the genetic jackhammer, so that plays.
Yeah, right. I got grapefruit-sized testicles.
The Miz has tiny balls.
Good God. Have you seen
Real
his
thing,
wife?
by the way. Yeah, he outkicked his coverage.
Yeah, right. I don't know. According to you, you've talked to females who said that the Miz is hot. So, maybe I'm missing something.
Maybe she outkicked her coverage.
I mean, I don't think he's like an ugly dude or anything, but it's like,
He
really?
does not look like Cena or Theory, I'll tell you that. But those two, yeah, I get that. But
Yeah, it's just like, all right. It's like he's not Brad Pitt, but whatever. What did I just say about they're looking to hire a soap opera writer who knows nothing about wrestling? Well, here you go, man. Speaking of WWE creative, the team remains uncertain of how to end the Kane-Lita pregnancy angle.
bro, we're gonna kill the baby, bro.
Yeah. The angle has been a major part of Raw over the past few weeks.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say major failure, because I would have bought that too.
Yeah, well, that too. Many ideas have been thrown around, but nothing is decided on yet. Until Vince McMahon comes in, what if we just kill it?
Kind of like it's doing our ratings.
Yeah, like, this was the most, and look, this is a crowded field, but this is one of the most tasteless pieces of television I have ever seen come out of WWE. Like, before, they like did the miscarriage stuff before, but the Stacy thing, it was like, oh, haha, it was a joke. It wasn't real. She was never pregnant. With Terry,
I think that was, yeah.
With Terry, they blew it off and ignored it. And it's like, oh, people.
They technically, it was an in between. They technically killed it. Then she was never pregnant. It was almost like an in between there.
But with Terry, they said she was never pregnant.
Yeah, that's how it all ended.
Oh,
And she miscarried. The doctor said, no, I examined her. She was never pregnant.
so her stomach was just getting rounder for no reason. Tumors, bro.
God, I hope not. That's terrible.
Well, yeah, but it's like, good God. Like, I know it's wrestling. Don't use logic. But seriously, man. The hell.
I like that that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, the UWF one, where Mick Foley said, it was convoluted, but it's okay because the entire wrestling industry is.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, I will take issue with this, with something that Mick Foley had said before. He wrote this in his book. He said, wrestling fans have short memories and they don't remember stuff. Bullshit. Wrestling fan, like, has anybody actually talked to a wrestling fan? Like, they're like, oh, you remember
I'd rather not. I haven't.
Yeah. Like, oh, you remember the storyline from 1993 where so-and-so did the... It's like, God dang. Like, yeah, you remember everything, man. And we have a shirt for that on our Bonfire store, by the way. It's Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia in the WWE Classic font. Go check that out.
Sometimes it's not a compliment.
Yeah, right. Well, we did
Depends
sell
on who's
one.
saying it, who you're saying it to, and the cadence you're delivering it.
Rodney Mack is expected to receive a new gimmick once he returns to the Raw roster.
Oh, good.
His new gimmick is set to be a spin-off of the Junkyard Dog. An interesting note about this is that the Junkyard Dog trained both Mack and his wife Jazz. I am today's years old when I found that out.
I actually knew that. I don't know why, but I did know that. I think I heard Jazz say it in an interview.
Yeah, cool. But wow. Rodney Mack, I don't think ever came back, did he? I think he's
He did
gone
not.
forever, bro. Yeah, he did the white boy challenge thing, and then he was gone. I didn't think he was a bad wrestler. I don't know whether or not he could cut a damn promo without.
But
Teddy
when
Long.
you saddle someone with the race thing, man, it never works out for anybody, no matter what color, what side you're on.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. If people don't remember, was first Teddy Long was with D'Lo Brown, and he always used to say he's down with the Brown, and then
which was a quote unquote play, wink wink.
Yeah, right. And then he got with Rodney Mack when Mack debuted, and Mack attacked D'Lo Brown. And if anybody remembers, Teddy Long's theme that we all know and love now, that was actually Rodney Mack's theme, and Teddy just kept it after Rodney left.
It was actually WrestleMania 16's theme.
Really?
But with different lyrics. But,
Oh, well, yeah, that California.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, I remember now.
Also, they tried to use them to break up the Dudley Boyz.
Really?
Yeah. Why is your white brother always telling you to do everything?
Oh my gosh, I don't remember that. Good grief. Yeah,
and
the
it
whole
was
thing.
Chris Nowinski that said that, by the way. So this whole thing is stupid.
I mean, Chris Nowinski, who is about as white as a snowstorm.
And about as smart as Albert Einstein, too, mind you.
Did anybody? And the other thing about Rodney Mack is he started doing what Teddy Long did, dubbed the White Boy Challenge, where he would just challenge any white boy to come face him in the ring.
Again, this never works out. Not that it's been done a lot, but when you bring any kind of race in anything, it just puts a stigma on it.
I feel like that was Teddy Long's gimmick always, even dating back to the NWA or WCW, whatever. Like, I don't know if Doom was necessarily like a racial thing, but it was like, oh, we have a black tag team. Let's put the black manager with them. I
Twice in his career, by the way, he was a manager because he had a failed stint as a ref. Realize that?
Right. Yep. But the thing everybody remembers him for, like, and is like, oh, I remember Teddy Long is his stint as general manager, which I think he was the longest running general manager in WWE history.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. I will say, the last time I saw Teddy Long, he was wearing a suit that actually fit. So that shocked the hell out of me.
Last week when he did the draft?
That might have been it. I don't remember. Eric Bischoff was in a suit that looked like he hadn't worn it since he debuted on Raw. And the last time I saw Teddy Long, I was like, wow, because you remember his suits always looked like they were 2 sizes too big.
Yep.
But he actually got one that fit, and I was like, hey, look at you, because he is a thin fella. So I don't know. I
don't know why I heard this clip with New Jack. He said Teddy Long reminded him of a brother trying to be a brother.
God.
What the hell does that mean?
Who was it? Was it JBL that said that called him George Jefferson?
Well, he walks just like George Jefferson, so
he called him like a George Jefferson wannabe, whatever. JBL, by the way, is good friends with Teddy Long. Didn't the APA induct him into the Hall of Fame or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
they talked about how cheap he was.
Yep. They
never pay a toll.
Never paid. Yep. They said every time they would look over, like they would be pulling up to the toll booth, and he'd miraculously have just fallen asleep.
Dude, Brian Myers recently had a story about Colt Cabana. It was almost word for word the same thing. Like, do not travel with Colt when everyone's splitting toll, because that dude's going to be fake sleeping the whole time, not pay anything.
Yep. Yeah, and they said they did get him back once though, because they made him pay for a big ass bar tab for him. So I think
top 6 figures.
Oh yeah, well, I think it was because they caught him like cheaping out on something, whatever, and they dragged him into wrestler's court. And Undertaker ruled that he pay for their bar tab, and they said they made sure they went hard that night. So
as opposed to any other night.
Yeah, it was. Hey, a slow night is like 15 beers.
Should have got Steve Austin, the Sandman, to join in. That would have really done some damage.
Oh, good God. Yeah, right. And hey, get Sheamus to order a few of them Guinness, man. Not only would you put him, not only would he knock a few of them back, but Guinness, to anybody that doesn't know, is a little bit more expensive than your typical beer. So I feel like the darker you go, the more expensive it is. So there's that. And Guinness, you damn near have to chew.
Gross.
Here's another gimmick that I would prefer not to remember, but
And you're about to do.
Yeah. Everyone in the Raw locker room is said to be happy that Nick Dinsmore, a.k.a. Eugene, has seen the character take off like it has. Only a few seem concerned that so much time has been put into the character that it may burn out too quickly.
When they say so much time, what do they mean? Like developing it? Because I don't think there's any time whatsoever.
Well, he got a lot of TV time, I think is what they mean.
Good Lord, yeah, way too much.
He was on TV all the time. You know, I know you criticize people like Orange Cassidy getting a lot of TV time. At least, you know, yeah, he's a joke, whatever, but it's like, he's not necessarily making fun of anyone, and he can wrestle really good. I mean, Nick Dinsmore could wrestle, but it's just like, his matches weren't anything. Nothing he did meant anything. And he was making fun of, because he's not mentally handicapped, I just feel like it's incredibly bad taste.
No.
Yeah.
You mean that wasn't okay to do?
Well, yeah, especially when repeatedly every week they would drop the R word about him until I think it was USA Network came down and was like, quit calling him the R word on TV. Oh, no, it wasn't US. They were on TNN at the times, or Spike, whatever. Like, it was. Why does that channel keep having to send down obvious edicts to the wrestling companies, man? Like, quit calling the special guy the R word on our network.
And my absolute favorite one. I know you're going to say it. So.
Quit letting the old guy get naked and bleed every week. You know, stuff like that. People don't know what I'm talking about with that one. It was Ric Flair would literally strip down and bleed like a sieve every week on Impact.
John Moxley had nothing on him, dude.
Right?
John Moxley looks like a paper cut compared to that fool.
It now looks as though there is a serious chance that Rikishi may be released by the WWE. With the amount of time that he has been sidelined with his ankle injury, many feel that he is now just milking the injury. This comes after the request for Rikishi to lose a certain amount of weight, and he only lost a portion of that.
There's a reoccurring theme of that family, huh?
Right. It's like, did he really get that big? I don't remember seeing him. Wow,
I seen him at a wrestling show recently. He looked actually smaller now.
Really? Oh, good for him.
Although he does wear all black, to be fair, but it doesn't look as big as he used to be.
Well, if anybody remembers, last week we covered King of the Ring 94. He was on that as one half of the Head Shrinkers. He was like half the size of when he became Rikishi, and he was fairly big then too. But it's like, my thing is just how big is too big for Rikishi? I don't remember. Like I was gonna say, I don't remember ever seeing him and was like, wow, he's gotten huge. I don't know.
I did say that when I found out he was the other half of the Head Shrinkers when he became Rikishi. Man, he got huge.
Oh well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That definitely. But either way, and I think he is released here, right? And he shows up in TNA for a month, if that.
That's way later.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
But I believe he was released here because can't remember seeing him ever again.
Going forever, bro. Yeah. Well, we have the World Wide Web at our fingertips here. I can just easily look this up. 2004. Yeah, he left in 2004. Okay. So he is released. So there you go. There are rumors going around backstage that Paul Bearer's run with WWE will be ending after the Great American Bash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's safe to say.
Yeah, yeah, right. Bro, we're going to kill him. He's going to be gone forever, bro. But either way, this one, you probably won't remember who this is. I sure as hell don't. WWE diva Rue DeBona. Hell of a name. Who hosted Afterburn and made several appearances on Heat, asked for her release after her contract expired.
Okay, no, I don't know who that is. How do you ask for release when your contract's expired?
Yeah, asked for her release after her contract expired. Yeah, I just now noticed the wording of that story. Yeah, it makes no sense. But this is the first time of the podcast I get to hit.
Who?
I did look her up. I don't recognize her, but she is all the way live. So there's that.
Oh, hey, boss. See this girl in the magazine. You should hire her.
Yeah. So I was flipping through.
She can host Afterburn. That's what I get every night.
Yeah, right. So I was flipping through the nudie mags. I swear I was only looking for our next hire, and I found this one chick. She's got a great rack. I bet she'd let me oil her pecs.
Her pecs not as good as yours, though, boss.
You're right. Oh God. Speaking of though,
should have ruined that.
Right.
We don't even know if it's true. I just want it to be so true that he says all that.
Well, with the rumors and innuendos going around and why he was released from WWE this last time, I mean, it's kind of safe to assume he said something along those lines. But well, I say that, but
Allegedly.
the longest-serving WWE diva, Jacqueline, was released from her contract. The release of Jacqueline has many people puzzled since she was just recently the Cruiserweight champion and had a pay-per-view appearance against Chavo Jr.
And that is a real sentence.
Yeah. I don't know why they released this woman that was the Cruiserweight champion and just faced Chavo Jr. That was so meaningful and deep.
Right.
That's why people tuned in. God. Look, don't get me wrong, Jacqueline was great, but that might be why they released her, because she was too good for this current slate of women they had in the company. Like, I don't
Jacqueline, can I oil your chocolate picks for you?
Good God.
She was like gainfully employed for years, if you think about it.
Yeah,
not really having done much.
She never said no to anything. She's like, you want me to face the men? All right, that's cool. You want me to, get in the ring with women who don't know what the hell they're doing? Sure, I'll do that. I'll even help train them a little bit. You want me to be a manager? Sure. You want me to literally get my top ripped off and flash the crowd? Sure, I'll do that. For people that don't know, there was a show over in England where they're not quite so strict on the nudity. And, yeah, that was a spot. They ripped her top off and she flashed the crowd. I'm going to safely assume that is not on Peacock.
Giggity.
But yeah, wow. Anyway, last story I got here. Since Triple H is no longer taking July off as originally planned, he will likely be main eventing Vengeance and SummerSlam.
Yes
did he?
and no.
So yeah, so Vengeance was.
I want to say it was him and Benoit in the Iron Man match. I think. Maybe it's just a match. But.
Yeah, let's see. Vengeance 2004. Yeah, him and it was just a regular match for the heavyweight title. And then who main evented SummerSlam 04? I forget that one.
Benoit and Orton.
Orton and Benoit. Okay, yeah, that's right. Well, hey, Triple H was in a marquee match against Eugene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's.
And guess what? That match sucked.
No, you take that back. Shut your whore mouth. Greg, you ignorant slut. Anyway, at the moment, it is expected for a Chris Benoit versus Triple H world title match to headline both pay-per-views. Well, we just covered that, so half and half. But,
Give me something from Revolution, though.
Yeah, well, so they were close. Kane versus Edge will be the other match for Vengeance. Was that the match of Vengeance? Those two?
If it was, it happened at two Vengeances in a row. I don't remember. I know it's at 05 because that's now in the archives. But
no, it's Edge and Orton at Vengeance, and Matt Hardy versus Kane. So.
Oh yeah, that's when he's about to get fired, right?
I believe so. Yeah, because SummerSlam 2004. Let's see. Edge took on Batista and Chris Jericho in a triple threat for the IC title. Yeah, so
that was the ass backward match where everyone cheered the hell out of Batista and booed Jericho and Edge. They were in Toronto, by the way.
Yeah, right. And Kane took on Matt Hardy again in a till death do us part match. So yeah, no, not Edge, Matt Hardy. It was originally planned.
It's all stupid, no matter how you say it, dude. So it's okay.
That is true. This one kind of threw me for a loop. It was originally planned for Shawn Michaels to face Kane at SummerSlam, but this match could be delayed due to HBK possibly taking time off, or more time off than expected.
That's not going to happen.
For reference, Shawn Michaels was not at SummerSlam at all. So there's that. But why the hell would it be Kane and Shawn Michaels? Not that I wanted more of this current storyline with Kane and Lita and all that crap, but what the F? Okay.
You just don't like good stuff.
Yeah, because we've, Shawn Michaels and Kane, that has my ass in the seat.
Shut up and take my money.
But all right, anyway, we have covered the news, the notes, the rumors, the innuendos, and I think it's time to get into the event at hand. You ready for this one, man?
No.
And neither am I. But here we are. We're going to get into it. It's WWE Great American Bash 2004 right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan. Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot
The
that.
same mother and father.
Your room was...
We share the room.
Shared a room.
We share the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah,
or
we go
something.
way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The
Broadcast.
Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah, well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. I nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
And we're back.
And
I shouldn't be too happy that we're back. We are back.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, this is good stuff, pal.
Just so I know, you watched this, right? You did watch this, correct?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I watched
because
it,
the vibe I'm getting from your tone right now is the vibe I'm getting from your tone is you didn't watch this. You just too damn
good
happy.
crap, pal. Come on. You didn't like this?
No. Whatever you're going to say, no.
Well, it took place on June 27th, 2004. The tagline, join our party. Yeah. Or...
Right.
Whatever this party is, I don't want to be a part of it. It took place.
I'll never want to go to that party.
Yeah.
That's what Jim Ross used to say when black men whip out like the kendo sticks and said it's party time. I'll never want to go to that party.
Yeah. You invite me to this party, I'll be washing my hair that night. No thanks. This took place at Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, in front of 6,500 fans. That is a lame-ass crowd for WWE pay-per-view, man.
This is a lame-ass pay-per-view.
Yeah. They clearly saw the card and went, nope. But the buy rate was 0.57, which amounted to 238,000 buys. Yeah.
You're a damn thing great about this, I'll tell you.
Yep. But Tori Wilson, in a sexy Uncle Sam outfit, those words left my mouth, starts the show in the ring and welcomes us to the Great American Bash. This is the high point of the entire show. Just saying that now.
I disagree. There's one more thing coming that's better, but
yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. But either way,
it may involve her again. Go on.
John Cena comes out first for his match so he can rap. He's wearing a Michael Vick Virginia Tech jersey. It's not going to age well. He makes a bunch of gay jokes about almost everybody except RVD, who he makes a weed joke about. He also makes
joke.
Yeah. I'm surprised he got that through because, like Bruce Pritchard said, the only reason that Vince allowed the Godfather to say, roll another fatty for this pimp daddy is because Vince didn't get it. Like, he didn't know what he was talking about. So...
He's talking about a big woman, huh?
Yeah. Roller and flour. Ha ha. Anyway, moving
That'll
on.
sell more tickets in the garden than Bruno.
Good grief. But this is a 4-way elimination match for the WWE US title. Goes just shy of 16 minutes.
This might be the best match on the card. Not to spoil, but
it's up there. It's definitely one of my favorites. But it's John Cena defending the title against Rob Van Dam, Rene Dupree, and Booker T.
one of these things is not like the others.
Right. Rene Dupree comes out looking like France vomited on him, by the way.
There's the one.
He's carrying a flag. He's got like the French flag for his trunks. He's got a French flag cape. He's walking a poodle. Like, good God.
Knows how to piss off America. I'll tell you that. You got to give him that.
Yep. He couldn't get more French unless he was like carrying the Mona Lisa in one hand and a baguette in the other. But
and one of those stupid beret hats. Don't forget that.
He's got to have the beret hat on and a handlebar mustache too. But RVD ends up.
I think we hit every stereotype. We're good.
Yeah, we're up there. RVD ends up hitting Booker T and Rene Dupree both with a 5-star frog splash. Knocks Cena off the top rope. Hits another 5-star frog splash on Booker T, and then Cena rolls RVD up to eliminate him first. Yeah, because that's the one that needed to go first. Later, T kicks Rene right in the head before he gets an FU from Cena. Booker
yes, it's still the FU.
Yes. Booker hits a scissor kick on Cena and pins Rene Dupree to eliminate him. It's down to Cena and Booker. Finally, John Cena blocks a kick from Booker T, hits the FU, and wins. Uncle Dave gave this dose stars. I actually gave it 3. I thought it was pretty good. What say you?
I gave it 3 as well.
Yeah, pretty good match. John Cena was definitely interesting during this time. I'll say that. Booker was like, I don't know, man, like 2 shows in a row. I'm like, Booker was there. That's all I could really say. RVD's always good for a good match, and Dupree is mid.
Well, my Dupree note here is he's the original Daniel Garcia. He kept getting on TV every damn week. Who do you have pictures Dupree? On? Yeah. Hey, who the hell do you have pictures of?
Hey, I will say I was 13 or whatever. Like, Dupree had heat with me, man. Like, he feuded with Cena, which, made me hate him instantly. He had residual heat from when he was in La Resistance. And I just, the whole French gimmick and all that stuff, like, man, he was over as a heel with me. I don't know. I don't know about other people. Apparently, he didn't stick around that long. So apparently nobody else felt that way. But backstage, John Cena walks through the hallway and gets congratulated by Charlie Haas and Miss Jackie, looking like a USA cheerleader, and all the way live. Cena flirts with Jackie and walks off. Kurt Angle now wheels up to them in his wheelchair and tells Charlie that he's disappointed in his former protege. He then says that his new protege, Luther Reigns, is better than Charlie, and they'll face off up next.
Yeah.
Luther Reigns.
Last time I heard he was a bodyguard for porn stars now.
Good God. Hey, you know what? Whatever pays the bills, man. Yeah, can you imagine that, man? It's like Kurt Angle with Luther Reigns.
Hey, do you hear Taz commentary, man? He's trying to get him over as hell.
Yeah, hey, you know what?
People know this guy is when he can go. Yeah, go, please, away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he looked like all I could think of was, and I don't know why this name popped in my head right away, probably because they had the same amount of overness, is like Bull Buchanan 2.0.
With a stupid earring.
Yeah. I'll say, like, he had a good body to him. Like, he looked like he could do something.
Well, yeah, of course he did. Why do you think he's there?
That's got to be it. Nobody watched his matches and hired him based on that. God dang it, pal. He's vascular. Hey, boss, I can oil his pecs for him. Anyway, I got it in again.
Of course, not as good as yours, boss.
Speaking of oiling pecs, we now join Sable, who's wearing a USA bikini, sitting in a jacuzzi, saying that she's hosting the Great American Bash from the tub. She then mentions her match coming up with Tori Wilson tonight. So we have that to look forward to. Look, I'd rather you just sit in the tub and shut the F up. Like, I don't need to see your match. That's fine. But now we have...
Well, you know, I hate to see you wrestle, but I love to see your box.
Good God. But up next, we got the Who Gives a Shit match of the night. It's Charlie Haas.
Oh, no, hold on. Don't just be using that so quickly. There's one more that's a bigger, way bigger one. I think you know what it is.
That is correct.
But this is one of two. But it's Charlie Haas with Miss Jackie. At least we get to look at her. Taking on Luther Reigns with Kurt Angle. I like for Luther's entrance, he literally wheels Kurt to the ring. Oh. That's a hell of an intimidating entrance, man. So this goes just over 7 minutes. 6 minutes too long. Remember when Luther Reigns was a thing, by the way? Like, it just, I got to point that out. This was a weird era of SmackDown with a lot of people that they tried and failed. We're going to get 2 more of those before the night's over. But in the end, Luther hits some kind of move where he he's got him in a dragon suplex, or a dragon sleeper, rather, and then he spins it into a face buster for a win. Yeah, Uncle Dave gave it a star. I gave it a 1.5. It was, there were moves that were done. What say you?
I gave it 1.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Bad. Not even a big enough word.
Well,
not
speaking
good.
Of
shitty.
Good grief. Speaking of that, we now go backstage with JBL, who has a bull rope slung over his shoulder. JBL says that he guaranteed victory at Judgment Day and followed through with his promise. He said Eddie Guerrero's only the champ still because he got himself disqualified, but he can't do that tonight. He says he's been vilified by the press and the people, and he's disappointed that he hasn't gotten a hero's welcome in a great American town like Norfolk. Yeah, because when I'm naming great American cities, Norfolk, Virginia is always at the top of my list.
Yeah.
But he ends it all by saying that he guarantees he will become the WWE champion tonight. Ugh. Foreshadowing, bro. But up next, it is Rey Mysterio versus not Eddie Guerrero. No. It's even better. It's Chavo Guerrero for the Cruiserweight title. By the way, this
is the 177th time on WWE television, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we just covered Judgment Day 04. So, within a month, we've got 3 new champions?
Yep, hot potato.
Like, good God, who could possibly give a crap at this point? So this goes just over 19.5 minutes. At one point, Chavo reverses a Hurricane Rana attempt into a gory bomb, but Rey manages to kick out. Minutes later, Rey hits a 619, but gets caught on a West Coast pop attempt, and Chavo turns it into a single leg crab after working on Rey's leg all match.
Work the leg!
Eventually, Rey turns another gory bomb attempt into a code red for the win. This was good, but not great. Uncle Dave gave it 3.25 stars. I gave it 3.5. I thought it was pretty entertaining towards the end. What say you?
I gave it 2. I was just so sick of seeing this match in 04.
Yeah. I mean, if I never see the match again, I won't feel disappointed whatsoever. Yeah. I'm not going to be like, oh no, I got to see more of that. Like, then again, I've never said that about Chavo Guerrero ever. So there's that. But we now see Tori Wilson in a USA bikini sitting in a hot tub. Hell yeah. But she's joined by Billy Kidman, Spike Dudley, and Funaki. The men argue.
It's getting weird.
Yeah. The men argue over who would have won if they were wrestling for the Cruiserweight title. Tori then stands up and they all stop and stare. Tori says that she's got to prepare for her match and she walks off as Funaki says, God bless America. Yeah, I second that.
They call him wrong?
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, I second that. So, up next is, I believe this is the match you were referring to as the Who Gives a Shit match of the night.
Yep.
It is Kenzo Suzuki with Hiroko taking on Billy Gunn. Just over 8 minutes. This match had exactly 4 days of build-up, and nobody gave a damn.
I'm pretty sure that last one that you labeled the Who Gives a Damn match had less than that. Because it was made right there on TV, right there on the event.
Right. Yeah. So you had, this is the Great American Bash. Everybody, the first time it's been back in 4 years. They're, SmackDown exclusive, title matches, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let's just make a thrown together who gives a crap match on the show. And then this match that nobody gave a crap about when it happened on SmackDown, but let's repeat it, 4 days later. It just shows they didn't give a crap about this show, man. But either way, Kenzo wins with a low blow that the blind-ass referee didn't see, followed by a neck breaker off the knee. Yeah. Uncle Dave gave it negative star. I gave it a 1.5 stars. What say you?
Star.
Yeah. This would have been... I'm more entertained by Daddy Ass scissoring the Acclaimed, all right? This is just...
He is more over than most of the damn wrestling world right now. So, when they let him on TV.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, they're one of the hottest things.
Kenzo effing Suzuki. I will say this. He had a pretty cool entrance, but then that damn bell had to ring. But hey, never fear.
Told you, nobody cares about them, bro.
Well, hey, never fear, everybody, because here before long, they're going to team him up with Rene Dupree, because we all know that great, France-Japan, partnership. Yeah. Like, why? Bro, they're not Americans, bro. Dumb. But speaking of dumb, backstage, Paul Heyman is with Paul Bearer, who is strapped to a chair. Heyman says that everyone thinks Paul Heyman is bluffing, but if the Undertaker doesn't do the right thing tonight, he will fill the concrete crypt and kill Paul Bearer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to point out, by the way, they never ever talk about what the right thing is. It's just implied. You never hear it.
Yeah, until the match, and then they're like, "Oh, you got to lay down." It's like, so wait a minute. So this whole thing was just to make him lay down for the Dudleys? Kind of a lame payoff.
It really was, because I thought something bigger was coming. Do the right thing. Help them steal the tag titles or something. Nope. Just help them win.
I've also got to point this out, that they have a match scheduled legally where the stipulation is if a certain person loses, somebody dies.
Hey, that's right up there with TNA putting child custody on the line in a cage match.
Well, hey, WWE did it in a ladder match, so there you go. Yeah, but it's like at
the very least, both men had claimed to be in the father, though. So there's that.
Right. I don't know how that didn't happen on Maori, but whatever. like that one is incredibly stupid, whatever. But you're literally ending a life here. If you lose, you die. And what? I don't even know what to say. It's just. But up next,
I feel like they brought him back for like nothing to get a pop in the Garden or WrestleMania 20. That was it.
Yeah, and then they had no idea what to do with him after that. They're like, crap. I will blame some of that on, I think Pritchard said they had no idea how bad a shape he was in when they brought him in. So but I will say to that, then
he's
why
not competing.
Keep him around? Well, they said he had a hard time just getting around, like at all. Like
you can tell.
Yeah,
at WrestleMania 20, he took forever to get to the ring, so yeah, you can tell.
Well, they said he was so big he couldn't really get up the stairs and in the ring anymore. So that's pretty sad. But I don't know. I think they offered to get him help, and it just never really panned out. But unfortunately. But either way, up next, it is this match. At least we have something good to look at while this is going on. But it is Sable versus Tori in 6 minutes, 6 seconds. Look, everyone hates this. The crowd is booing.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the 5-star match of the night right here.
Good God.
Until the bell rings.
Well, the crowd is booing. Commentary's cracking jokes throughout the entire match. In the end, Sable plays possum. Schoolboy pins Tori, pulls her tights, and Tori's shoulders aren't even on the mat. But the referee doesn't give a damn and mercifully ends this one.
Because the referee's like all of us. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever seen two women that look like that? You want to say, get off my TV right now? Have you ever said that in your life?
It's like, get out. Oh, man. Uncle Dave gave this negative star. I gave it a star. What say you?
1 star.
I probably should have given it a dud, but,
1 star for the match. 10 stars for the aesthetics.
Yeah, right. But backstage, The Undertaker raises his head and walks down a dark hallway for reasons. When we now go backstage
And
to...
why? Because he's taking that before he gets to the ring, or what? It's not like it's next.
Well, yeah, it takes him that long to get to the ring. Gosh, why do you think they gave him a motorcycle? You know why, Greg? Because...
Me, right?
He's like, okay, you're on at 7:40, Pacific time. All right, I'm leaving right now. I'll be there soon.
But we now go backstage to Dawn Marie, looking all the way live in a USA bikini, standing beside a jacuzzi. She interviews Rene Dupree, who says that he got cheated and will protest to get another match for the U.S. title. Oh, yeah.
And I believe he does.
Nothing says manly man like, I'm going to protest to get another title shot. But he then tells Dawn that French are better lovers than fighters and asks if she wants to see his French tickler. God. The FBI now...
I'd never gonna blame a guy for shooting a shot on that, but giggity.
Yeah, right.
But
the FBI now comes in, and Nunzio says that if Dawn really wants to be impressed, she can take a look at his 15 inches. He then shows off his huge foot and says, you know what they say about guys with big feet? Dawn doesn't get it, because she's dumb, you see. And then
she was ECW with him. You tell me she didn't walk in the locker room every so often?
Yeah, right. Like, that is one prize hog you got there, Nunzio. But she finally gets it and then walks off with him. Johnny Stamboli then comes up and asks Renee, what size are you? A 6? And then he laughs and walks away. The funniest part about all this, by the way, is when they pan the camera down, Johnny Stamboli's wearing pants that cover his feet.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Because they pan it down and you see his pants just go all the way to the floor. You don't see his feet at all. I'm like, it's a little weird. But
Joey Styles used to make it a point to talk about his shoe size every night. Size 15 shoe. God bless his wife.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Up next, it is... I guess we can throw this in there with another one of those who gives a shit matches of the night. It's Mordecai versus Hardcore Holly.
Okay, so earlier, I should have corrected you, but I didn't. This is the one I meant. Not that it wasn't the other one, too, but yeah, this is the one I was talking about.
So we get 3 in one night. Lucky us, man.
And this is another one I think that was thrown on at the end. I don't think it was ever promoted.
No, I think the only thing they really said about it was that Hardcore Holly's been complaining that the locker room is soft and the young guys just aren't trained well anymore or something like that. So he's going to beat down all the young guys. I think that's literally the whole build to this.
That is the whole thing. I think was a play on Tough Enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, but this just sucked. But
No.
Holly starts off by beating the piss out of Mordecai.
I thought the new segment of the show was Greg states the obvious. Now you're just stepping on my gimmick.
Yeah. Hey, one of us has got to do it. But outside the ring, Mordecai throws Holly into his giant cross. In the end, Mordecai blocks an Alabama slam and hits a crucifix bomb for the win. Uncle Dave gave it a half a star.
I call it a border toss.
I give it 2 stars. It was average, or slightly below average, I'd say. What say you?
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, not great. Not good. Believe me, not good. And I wonder why Mordecai never got over. Maybe because of crap like this.
Because instead of, I don't want to be one of those guys, but instead of what they should have done, they put him with Hardcore Holly, not The Undertaker. Or even Kane, for crying out loud.
They did nothing to make us give a damn about him. Well, god dang it, the crowd doesn't blow when he comes out for his entrance. Like, no, because he's coming out the face. Who gives a crap, guys?
This was, what's his name on ECW, right?
Kevin Thorne, yeah.
The real ECW on WWE, not the crap that Paul Heyman had.
Oh, good God, shut the F up. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I stand by calling Paul Heyman's crap, by the way, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, this was terrible.
Well, we put Mordecai against people like Scotty Too Hottie and Hardcore Holly. I don't understand why people don't like him. Good God. But we now get a commercial for SummerSlam, and they kind of make fun of the Olympics a little bit. And up next, this is actually my match of the night right here, and I'm not being sarcastic. It is Eddie Guerrero defending the WWE title against John Bradshaw Layfield in a Texas Bullrope match. It goes for 19 minutes. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I've always liked Bullrope matches. I don't know why.
You're the one.
Well, me and Dusty Rhodes.
I can say I've been at a Dusty Rhodes Bullrope match. That was pretty cool. Now in the archives.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Dude, Cody needs to have himself a Bullrope match, man.
He kind of did in the Hell in a Cell with Seth.
Did they pull out a Bullrope?
He did.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I
know he has
his new defining moments figure from that match comes with the Bullrope.
And I know he does.
Put a hat on a hat.
That, right. I know he did that dog collar match with Brody Lee, but it's not the same. I mean, it's very similar, obviously, but like, come on, man, you're always putting out there how you're Dusty Rhodes' son or whatever. Do the damn bull rope. But anyway, JBL actually rides his limo out for his entrance for this one, and Eddie rides out in a shiny red lowrider. We get the reverse of what happened. Yeah, we get the reverse of what happened at Judgment Day, where Eddie gets tossed over the announcer table, pops up with a chair, and swings for the fences at JBL's head. JBL gets busted open from it, but
I believe JBL said to this day, like, that was the hardest shot he's ever taken, was that chair shot.
Well, yeah, you see what part of the chair he effing hit him with? Like the damn top of it.
I'm so tired of WWE only hitting in the backs of chairs. I'm sorry, you don't want them to kill each other.
Yeah. It's like if somebody could swing it well enough to hit him with the damn seat, and I don't know, maybe somebody puts their damn hands up. Like, those two things right there would be. It's still dangerous, obviously, but yikes. But anyway, JBL gets busted open, but nowhere near as bad as Eddie got busted open a month ago. Once in the ring, JBL eats another chair shot, but he's still able to stop Eddie from touching all four turnbuckles. At one point, JBL throws Eddie off the middle turnbuckle and onto a commentator table, which doesn't break. Because of that, he powerbombs Eddie through the damn table. Had that WCW table strength, man. But after this, JBL drags Eddie into the ring and hits 3 turnbuckles, but Eddie holds him off or Eddie holds him back, rather. Eddie eats a cowbell to the head. Or
cowbell.
But still holds JBL off and hits him in the gut with a cowbell. Well, because JBL had a fever, and the only prescription was more cowbell.
To the gut.
Eddie then touches 3 turnbuckles, and JBL follows him, touching the same turnbuckles. Eddie holds JBL back from the 4th, then blasts him with a rope.
By the way, the announcers kind of gloss over.
What?
Him following him, touching him.
They mentioned it. They're like, "Oh, he's right behind him."
Yeah, they did, but they gloss over it. Oh, he's touching him, like not like building it up. Hey, he's, this should have been a big thing. And they were just like, yeah, it's happening, whatever. Because watching this live, I remember thinking, oh God, he's gonna win because he's touching them all too.
Yeah. Well, he ends up blasting JBL in the back with the rope and the cowbell at the same time, and then he dives on him in the corner and touches the buckle. The ref declares that Eddie won, even though JBL touched the buckle first. Uncle Dave gave this 3 1/4 stars. I actually gave it 4. What say you?
I too gave it 4, even though I still think the first match was the match of the night. But
yeah, this was really damn good, especially when you grade it like the fact that it's a bull rope match.
Also, I'm like, and I know what you're about to say, what the next part's about to happen, but why also was his back enough to okay, you win because your back hit? I thought it had to be your hand. I mean, no, they never specified, but
yeah, I was gonna say they never actually specified what part, and and Kurt Angle's even gonna say that. He's like, we never said that it had, you had to touch it with your hand. So I mean that is true. I don't know how often that's ever been a thing, or if it has ever been a thing.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I really don't know. So yeah, but either way, the other thing with that is, think about this. We just talked about how this was like Dusty Rhodes' specialty, and we're about to get a Dusty finish here. So
a Dusty Rhodes pay-per-view.
Yeah, I know, right? It's the Dusty Trio. But Kurt Angle now gets wheeled out by Luther Reigns and says that as general manager, he needs to do the right thing. He shows a replay of the end of the match where JBL touched the buckle as Eddie dives on him, making him the winner. Angle then reverses the decision, making JBL the winner and the new WWE champion. So my question is, whatever happened to the referee has the final decision?
Oh, Gorilla Monsoon passed away. That was his edict.
Yeah. No, well, that was always like the thing. Even in WCW, they'd say that kind of stuff. Well, the referee has a final decision, whatever. It's almost as if they're making this up as they go along.
Me, right?
I still don't understand why Eddie had like this laughable reign. That's what really pisses me off about it. And then this idiot's been for almost a year.
Yeah. Yeah, he was WWE champ for, let's see, he won it, what, February?
Yeah.
March, April, May, June, so 4 months. And he never won it again. I mean, I will say, I would say he was most likely going to win it again if he would have lived. Like, I don't think he would have never won the world title ever again. But I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, but history will remain. Like, his only one ever was laughable.
Yeah, well, he didn't have he had, like, his match against Brock was good, and then his match against Angle was great. And then, yeah, he had these matches against JBL that were like, I mean, they were good, but it was like,
Random as hell, though, too. It was like, why him?
Well, because they can make JBL the racist, man. Like, well, and, it's like, Eddie wasn't actually born in Mexico, right? I know he's got the Mexican heritage and all that, but good grief. And then he carried that on to Rey Mysterio, because remember, he feuded with him.
Mm-hmm.
But after all this, JBL celebrates with the WWE title, and Eddie walks to the back, incredibly disappointed.
Go back.
And that takes us to our second to last break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the main event.
Yeah, there's more. Now, that wasn't it. You got the meat and potatoes to come.
Why did this not close the show? Like, good God.
The only argument there is it's the Undertaker.
Well, and I guess there was like, well, because we had to clean up after the concrete crypt, and it's like, and how do you keep the...
Say, well, no, you can't use that when it's out there on the stage, nowhere near the ring. You can't use that then. You kind of lose the ability to say that, I think.
Yeah, well, the other thing, it's like, well, this is WWE, so this argument doesn't hold up. But it's like, how do we continue the show when somebody just died? Like, well, somebody died for real, and he kept the show going. So, like, somebody dying for fake shouldn't throw things off.
Now, hold on, though. Someone died here in the arena. No one didn't die in the arena. Apparently, he did in the ambulance, right?
Yeah, technically.
Am I using semantics here too much?
I don't know, because the argument is they're like, well, I don't know if they really know, because they were like, oh, he was dead. Like, he's laying there like he was definitely dead. But I don't know. I don't know how that one went.
I don't know, and I don't want to know. Sad, but
if you would have just flipped the last two matches, also that would have added for some great comedy, because it's like, you go to commentary. I think we just witnessed the death of Paul Bearer. Oh well, can't mourn forever. Anyway, bullrope time. That would have been hilarious.
Oh man.
But either way, you're ending the show on a low note. But this is an especially low note.
No WWE history.
That is correct.
But anyway, we're going to take our second to last break. When we come back, Concrete Crypt time. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. Ugh. Another wrestling podcast. How many times can I listen to fans tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday. Bump day. Yeah? Go to apronbump.com. or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
Main event marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back.
Yeah, here we go.
Come on, Greg. I told you before, you got to get into it, man.
You're a dick.
Main event! After everyone enters for the main event, Paul Heyman says that he's going to show The Undertaker what will happen to Paul Bearer tonight if The Undertaker doesn't do the right thing. And he dumps cement into Paul Bearer's crypt up to the top of Bearer's ankles. First of all, like, this match went on, well, let me just say, it's the Dudley Boyz with Paul Heyman versus The Undertaker in a handicap Concrete Crypt match. The only one in history, thank God. And it went for 16 minutes, 42 seconds.
Okay, so shouldn't it be the Concrete Crypt match?
You'd think, yeah, something like that. But this match goes on for over a quarter of an hour. Concrete starts to harden before that time. So, like, this would have been a big-time emergency at this point, man. And nobody said a damn thing. They're just like, yeah, whatever. He can sit in it. My God. But either way, getting into the actual match.
Did you see Bear, dude? He was barely tied down, dude. Yeah, he can just get right up. I mean, you see, like, the rope is, like, loose as hell around his wrists.
Well, if he did get up, what was he going to do? He was in a big glass box. So which makes me ask.
You said get up and box.
If he did get up out of that big glass box and he would have gotten out of it, would he have been over?
Hell yeah. Now, Cornette never specified. Cornette never specified it had to be a solid box. Or it could be clear. He never specified that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. Good grief. Anyway, yeah, this was something. I think Bruce Pritchard said that the concrete was made out of like an oats mixture. He said he couldn't remember what all was in it, but he said it was definitely a lot of like oatmeal. So, which makes sense. It was pretty chunky.
It was all in this match. Crap.
Right. Well,
this is like a legend and one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah, right.
How can you go bad with that?
And one of the greatest managers of all time.
You're just making it harder to bash on this match.
Well, I'm gonna not make it so hard to bash on this match because it's like when you have all that talent, how? Like, I will say that it takes talent to f this up. So congratulations, I guess.
I feel like this is the part where we need to remind everyone that Russo's not here.
Yeah, right. We haven't hit that yet in the podcast. So yes, Vince Russo is not here. He is elsewhere at this time, ruining another company. But either way, Bubba Ray Dudley grabs a mic and tells The Undertaker to show he's with them and lay down. Date night flashback. The Undertaker initially does, and Bubba stands over him, saying that he's been waiting for this moment his whole life. Prom night flashback. Undertaker then goozles to Dudley's, and then the Dudleys fight back, double teaming the Undertaker.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some logic in here. At this point, hasn't he already violated what they wanted him to do?
You said violated. I mean, I guess.
He's not doing the right thing by fighting back already. He's already...
As you and I pointed out, they never did specify exactly what the right thing was.
Right.
So, I mean, he could just... Maybe he's just a habitual line stepper. I don't know. He's stepping over that red line. Hey, if you step over that one, I got another one for you. I don't freaking know.
Whoever made this match was on lines.
Yeah, right. Tony Khan?
Good God. Thought I was
allegedly
jokester here.
Yeah. Hey, I got the allegedly in there, so it's all good. But anyway, when The Undertaker goes for old school, Paul Heyman starts to yell, "Bad dog," when pouring more concrete into Paul Bearer's crypt. The Undertaker starts to...
I don't know about you, man, but when he did that, it kind of scared me. I didn't hear it coming. Bad dog! What the hell is that?
I couldn't understand what the hell he was saying at first. I recognized his voice, but he was like... When he gets excited, he hits a pitch that only dogs can hear. Like, I don't know. I was like, what does he say? It took like 3-4 times. I'm like, oh, he's yelling bad dog. Okay. The Undertaker starts to walk towards Heyman and gets jumped by the Dudleys as Heyman pours more cement into the crypt. By the way, where was the referee with this one? Like, because wasn't the whole stipulation that... what was the stipulation? Like,
I don't know.
Like, they never specified. If Taker wins, he doesn't die, but if the Dudleys do win, he does die, or vice versa.
I have no idea, dude.
So there's no ref to regulate this. It's literally all up to Heyman.
Yeah.
This gets dumber the more layers you put onto it.
None of it made any sense, dude. The freaking build-up from it started out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, it looked like the Dudleys were fighting with Paul Heyman, and like they stuffed Paul down the... Then they'd stuff him somewhere. Like, I forget what it was. Wasn't it down the sewer?
No,
they already done. They already did that with Paul Bear. Never mind. I'm thinking two things. They did something with him, like, oh, sorry, Paul. Then it sounded like, oh no, they put him in a trunk.
Yeah, that was
like we got Paul, and they just kept using the first name.
Yeah,
it just kind of came out of nowhere.
And I'm like, why is Heyman feuding with Taker? Why are the Dudleys feuding with Taker?
There's no explanation.
I guess the Dudleys are feuding with them because they're with Paul, and Paul's feuding with it. But like, why?
So why is Paul? Why is Paul feuding with him? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like because he wanted the only thing like, and the thing is, you shouldn't have to use your own like reasoning here for it, but I had to along the way just make some sense of it. But I was going to say, like, Paul wanted to control the Undertaker. That's the only thing I could think of.
But even that requires a why.
Yeah. Because the Undertaker, like, he thought he could do something great with the Undertaker. Like, he could make the Undertaker do his bidding, I guess.
But he had no real thing going on for him to do bidding for. I don't know.
He wanted a client that could, maybe he was going to make him win the world title for him or something. I don't, yeah. Like I said, we're trying to figure this out because there's no explanation. And that's not good.
That's what that soap opera writer's coming in for, right?
Yeah, well, because as we all know, soap operas notoriously make a lot of sense. They're known for their storylines that are just, airtight. But Bubba Ray stops the cement from being poured in, saying that they can beat The Undertaker. Sure. Paul Heyman walks to the ring at one point, holding up the urn, thinking that he can control The Undertaker, but it doesn't work. Undertaker hits the tombstone on Devon for the win. Uncle Dave gave this a star. Like, the actual match itself for a handicap, I gave 2, besides all the bull crap going on outside.
Oh, I gave it 1. 1 solid.
Yeah, it was a solid 1, that's for sure.
I took a solid.
Actually, this is more like a liquid, but, whatever. But either way, after the match, Paul Heyman says that since The Undertaker still cares about Paul Bearer, he won't do the right thing. It's up to Heyman to do the right thing. Which makes me think, like, that almost sounds like, look, Paul Heyman isn't good for you, or Paul Bearer, rather, isn't good for you. So we got to cut him out of your life. He's controlling you, so I'm going to do it because you won't. Again, I'm trying to add something that makes sense to this damn thing. Maybe I shouldn't.
And also, not to get too far ahead, I'm pretty sure this whole thing just ends after this.
Yeah. I don't remember it continuing.
No, it doesn't. Undertaker goes right into JBL, I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, there's no follow-up to it either.
That pissed me off so bad because The Undertaker got, like, what, 3, at least 2, maybe 3 title shots. Every one of them got blown.
3, 3, because there was a SummerSlam, No Mercy, and then the Fatal 4-Way at Armageddon, I think.
Yeah. Like, dude, you just make The Undertaker, who's one of your biggest stars, look like crap.
I think we've said multiple times on this show that he's never really been the guy. So there's that.
Right. But he's, like, arguably, like, the biggest star, or at least second biggest star. They got on SmackDown right now. And now we're just going to, we're going to him over and over and over.
And we're going to put him in convoluted things that don't even matter. And they make no sense.
Yep. Well, the lights drop now, and lightning strikes the stage. Paul Heyman crawls away, screaming like a bitch, as the Undertaker walks up the aisle. Paul Bearer smiles and tells the Undertaker to save him. The Undertaker gets on one knee to do his salute to Paul Bearer as his theme hits. The Undertaker then stares at the cement truck, grabs a mic to say that he has no other choice, telling Paul Bearer to rest in peace. He then drops the rest of the cement into the crypt and leaves.
Right.
And before you ask, what the hell does that mean? No consequence ever came. No pat on the back for doing it because he had no choice. So clearly you had a choice. You had a choice.
Yeah, what was the choice? You don't do it and Heyman does it? Or you, like, what?
My head hurts.
Yeah, and again,
I've done calculus problems that are easier than this.
This could have, look, don't get me wrong, it still would have been bad. But if they would have had even the slightest bit of explanation to this, like Paul Bearer's holding him back and controlling him, so he needs to cut him loose, something like that. But they don't.
Heyman has one of the Undertaker's kids or his wife hostage in the back.
Yeah, well, like, I could have done with, like, it's like, well, Paul Bearer's back to ride your coattails and hold you back or something like that. Okay, and like Paul Heyman was trying to help him cut loose. Okay. Like,
or hey, you do this and you get the title shot at SummerSlam. Nope.
Yeah, something like that. Or some kind of reward. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Which, again, I got to repeat, means he did have a choice.
None of it made a lick of sense. It's to use a Larry the Cable Guy saying, it's like wiping before you poop. It don't make no sense.
Man.
Gosh. But anyway, that mercifully ends this effing show.
I thought last week was the worst show we've ever done. This might be it.
Yeah, well, hold on to your nuts there, man, because this is something.
And we don't even know what's coming next week. Could be even worse.
Yeah.
Wait, do we know what's coming next week?
We don't. Sorry, because because anybody that was wondering, like, if anybody listens to our wrap up at the end of the show, first of all, God bless you. Second of all,
thank you.
Right. So I did it again. I had booked WCW's Great American Bash for this week, or from 2000, and we've already done it. That's now in the archives. So if you want to go listen to it, it's there. So we just moved this one up so we'd have something to record. But
also, I have a new reason to. I guess partially it's on me. I should remember too, but I have a new reason to want to kick TJ's ass because he made me watch this crap again.
Yeah, man. Hey, you should be thanking me. All right, this was clearly good crap, pal. Anyway, but we're gonna take our final break.
No, dude, WrestleMania 9 was good crap. Okay, this was bad.
Yeah, I guess so. But on the other end of this break, we're gonna tell you our final ratings for all of this, and we'll figure out what's coming up next week for Double Main Event Week. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back. Final ratings time, y'all. And everybody hated it, man. I know that's not a shocker. But Internet Movie Database gave this thing 4.7 out of 10.
It's like saying everybody hates prison. No!
CageMatch.net gave this 2.97 out of 10. Yikes. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Straight F. Let's say you.
F minus. Like a 1 out of 10. There's
man. This thing sucks. I didn't give it any...
This would have been a semi-decent episode of SmackDown right here. Also, I want to point out that's why this show slacked, because brand-specific pay-per-views were just bad all around.
Most of them, yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know there were a couple of decent ones, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
No Way Out 04, I mean, I'm biased to that, but that was good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Can't think of any others, though. But, yeah, if anybody else out there... Honestly, I would love suggestions if people are like, oh, well, this brand-specific pay-per-view is good. Let us know.
Bad Blood 2003, which was the very first brand-specific, I believe. That was a pretty good one.
By the way...
Vintage 03. That might be the best one ever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, this show absolutely sucked a high hard one. I mean, that's stating the obvious again, but there we go. Next week, though, we did...
Do we have a bonus for June?
We do, actually. What we got coming up, the next week, if anybody doesn't know, is Double Main Event Week. You get 2 shows for the price of 1, and you pay nothing. So there you go. Real value for your dollar.
Double your money.
Exactly. On June 21st, next Wednesday, we bring you, we promised the WCW Bash, Great American Bash. This one is actually 10 years before the last one that we were saying.
And actually good.
Yeah, and this one's a good one, actually. Greg picked this one out. It's WCW Great American Bash 1990. This will wash the taste out of the last 2 weeks out of your mouth. So there's that.
This is one of my all-time favorite moments in wrestling history.
Yep.
When I was a kid.
Sting finally wins the big one, wins the world title. Vader debuts. It's Mark Callis's final match ever in WCW. Or at least
he's
final
not going to
pay-per-view.
want to do much.
Yeah, right. So a big show here, lots of history. So we will cover that next week on June 21st. The bonus show is NWA-TNA's first anniversary show from 2003. I told you we'd cover something from the Asylum. Here you go. So that...
there are 2 guys on the show that are currently on active AEW roster.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's Jeff Jarrett and Sting.
Yep. I was gonna say, I believe they're in the same match too. I haven't watched this yet. So.
Yeah, it's a tag match. So that would be let's see.
It's kind of a spoiler because I believe, if I remember correctly, this is Sting's surprise debut.
Oh, really?
I believe so. If I remember right, don't hold me to that.
I'm assuming that match is good because it's Jeff Jarrett and Sting versus AJ Styles and Six Pac. So all those guys can go.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah, we got Triple X of Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper taking on America's Most Wanted. That should be good.
Never go wrong with that. Ever.
Yep. Chris Sabin defending the X Division title against Paul London. That should be pretty good. The opener is some bullcrap 6-man tag nobody gives a damn about. New Jack takes on Mike Sanders. Excuse me, above average Mike Sanders.
Against below average New Jack.
There you go. Just Incredible versus Jerry Lynn. That could be interesting. Or Well,
I mean, it was like 5 years prior, so.
Okay, well, I'm going to spoil it for you. It's going to suck because it goes under 3 minutes. So there you go. And then Kenzo Suzuki, we get to talk about him again because he's taking on Perry Saturn. And you want to talk about you want to talk about throwing some names in a hat and pulling them out at random, man. Here you go.
That's how you make it in the office, right?
Yeah, right. This
For those who don't get it, that's the allegedly how they made the tough enough brackets.
Oh, are you setting me up?
Allegedly.
Yeah. There you go. This took place on June 18th, 2003. If anybody goes to the Impact Wrestling YouTube page, if they want to watch this thing, it is just titled TNA Wrestling's first anniversary full show, NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 50. So there you go. It's about an hour, 51 minutes long. So not a terribly long show, but it'll make for an interesting bonus, I would say. Also, we're wrapping up the month. More WWE. I don't know if we ever covered a Money in the Bank before, but we are covering Money in the Bank 2018. I take that back. We have definitely done Money in the Bank before. We did 2011 was the only other one we did.
Yeah, dude, going forward, whenever you say I don't know if we did something, you better check.
Yeah, I'm checking it now. Money in the Bank 2011. We covered that one now in the archives. This will be
because everybody covers that.
Of course. And it did get us good numbers, so I don't regret it. But yeah, so that is coming regrets. Up. Closing, no regrets. That is closing out June for us. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
An asshole for doing this to me.
We will see you all next week for the show that Greg has actually picked out with WCW Great American Bash.
I'm trying to show him how to do it, folks.
1990.
I'm working on it.
And next Friday for the bonus show, it's NWA-TNA's first anniversary show from 2003.